fellas, ladies and gentlemen, do you know what it is? It's simply this. It's finals time, baby. It's finals time. We're finally here after a week off, which we didn't need because we've had that many off during the week. It's so much to talk about. Get on the chat, be part of it. Listening at home, thank you for joining us on the Spotify network, iTunes, you name us, you found us. Like I said, it's how you want your footy each and every single week. Jamie, I must ask you, mate, how are you feeling this time? Top of the ladder, pressure's on you.
It definitely sunk in. But Peps, I want to just share something nice and early with our listeners. It's, as we all know, I've moved recently. I've moved house, and part of the moving of the process is you pack stuff away and you don't really think about where it's ever gone. The beauty is when you start unpacking all of that, is you start to find little gems that you never knew that you still had, or that you thought were just gone in the ether, such as life when you move from houses.
Nuggets.
Nuggets. I found a nugget. No. So, Peps, I decided that I'm going to, in the spirit of this week, and who Port Adelaide is playing in its first final this week, I've decided to bring out something that I have not seen and have not worn and didn't even know I still had it.
You haven't,
over 13 years.
Have you got one?
Have
you got one?
Let me just chuck
He hasn't.
this
He's got
on.
it.
So this is a 2007 or circa that year Port Adelaide Guernsey, and I'm going to chuck it on. I'm going to wear it. I'm going to exercise the demons. Now, I could be tempting fate. I'm fully aware of this right now, Peps.
Oh, I thought it was a tarp.
Well, no,
a tarp.
No, it's a jumper. So I know I could be tempting fate, but I'm going to wear my 2007 Port Adelaide jumper because I've got a good feeling about this week, and this one needs to just have some more life into it. Because since 2007, when that game was finished, I took this off, and I reckon I just folded it up and chucked it in my bag and went out that night and haven't picked it up again. So this is Port Adelaide this year.
You're doing it for them, are you?
I'm doing it for them. I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to wear out the bad vibes that this jumper had brought with it for so long. Look at Scott's.
Has that ever been worn? Can I say, 14 years ago, you were either a very muscly guy or you've lost a lot of weight.
No, we're talking about.
There's a bit of room in there.
Well, you always buy jumper with room because you can put jumpers and stuff under them.
You could use that as a spinnaker on one of those Sydney to Hobart yachts.
This is perfect.
That's huge.
This stuff here, they're like Scott's trucking.
AFL. Wasn't it, Mr. Scott? You were wrong.
That's right. They've got the Reebok. We've got the Reebok symbol there. Back when Reebok was a sponsor. Anyway,
good times, hey. Good times.
I'm wearing it.
Well, we've got that much to talk about tonight. It is not funny. I don't even know where to start.
Okay.
Should we just get straight into the finals? Should we just get into that?
Just
belt it out. Is it? Well, because it is. It's finals time, baby. We kick off finals this week. There is some belter of a games. Now, if you were here in our 100th episode last week, and thank you for everybody who tuned in, wrote to us. It was our highest listened to episode all week. That's how massive it was. It was huge. And so to everyone who listened, everyone who tuned in, thank you very much. Like I said, without you, we have nothing. And so the top 8 highlights the best of the best. We're bringing out the big guns now. So I can tell you there'll be no more graphic stuff-ups like last week. There'll be no more wrong letters going up. Only the good stuff will be going up right now. And we're going to start with this one, big boy, because we've got the ladder. We have the ladder ready to go. Oh, this is not the ladder. All right. So these are the games kicking off this week. The first one is kicking off It's kicking off this week. It's going to be awesome. Finals is here. Who's excited? Can I just say, have a look what I've done.
I hope we don't lose after a kick after the siren this week. It's going to be really bad.
Can I just say that, like, I put the wrong image up again.
Peps.
It's 2017.
Are you just trying to rub that in?
Could have been. Do you remember that? Tell us about that day. Tell us about that when you lost after the siren.
I was actually at a friend's house getting quite ripped anyway, so I don't remember it.
Was it Hendo Rick?
It wasn't, but I was deep into the Captain Morgan. So at that point, I sort of was anger. I had the rum anger, but I was also so mellow that I didn't care.
All right. Well,
anyway.
Good news is I fixed it up. We'll be in there. So the first game's kicking off. What game's kicking off Thursday night, Jamie? Is it the one that you're looking forward to? Because there's four cracking games, but there's got to be a couple that... And listeners, and people on the chat right now, tell me who you're getting a little bit excited for. What game are you getting excited for today?
This is... Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the Port Adelaide Geelong one. I mean, we got spanked by them by 10 goals last time early in the season.
Yep.
That was only about 6-7 weeks ago now. And I'm looking for hopefully a good game. And if that is the case, then we go straight through to the big game before the grand final.
The big dance? The big dance.
The big one before the big one.
All right. Well, I'm hoping that ain't going to happen. I'm just looking forward to seeing if you're going to Sam Stosey your way to finals action. Because I've got a feeling you're going to do it again. I don't know if you can or you will. But it's interesting. By the way, 2014? That was the last time that 2004, 7? Was the last time you wore that jumper? Apparently that was the last time you were cool. And it's already coming in. Port are going to be out straight sets. Heard it first. No, Joel, we've been saying it for the last number of weeks.
No. So we are going to win this game. Come on.
All right. So let's have a look at this. All right. So we're going to have a couple of games. Like I said, finals time, baby. We've got the Port Adelaide Geelong game. We've got Collingwood versus the Eagles, and apparently that's caused a bit of a furore as well. Saints versus Doggies, and the Lions versus the Tigers. There's so many little nuances and innuendo and little bits and pieces to each one of these games. I'm not going to hold the image up all night because they're here to see us and not the fixture. But besides your own game, which one are you most excited for?
I am most excited for the Tigers and Brisbane.
Okay. Who and why?
Why I'm most excited? Because those two, to me, are probably the real, genuine AFL threats this year. I think they're probably still the two top teams. But Richmond having a slightly weaker forward line will be interesting. And I'm interested to also see Harris Andrews return after 6 weeks since his hamstring.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be an interesting game.
Who did not deserve to win or earn an All-Australian spot, I must say.
Oh, God.
Stephen May was robbed. And
Don't.
I can tell you now, people are going to jump on and they are going to agree. Stephen May was robbed. Robbed, I tell you. It was right in front of me.
Right in front of me.
Robbed he was. All right. So, I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to. Every one of these games, like the first one is kicking off on Thursday night. Now, Jamie, tell you what, that's going to be 7:40 p.m. Your mob, Port Adelaide versus the Geelong Cats. Teams have been yet to be released. But what's going to happen? You're on top of the ladder. You did it 3 times in a row in the early 2000s and fudged them all up. Are you going to go down the same track, or are you going to win this one at home, stay at home? Are all the young fellas going to be able to step up to the mark? Is the forward line going to function? Is it going to be too much pressure on Charlie? The Cats, they've got all their lineup back. Are they a little bit too long in the tooth? Is G. Ablett going to be able to weave his magic final? Is Tomahawk going to run amok like he did last time? There's so many questions on this game. And I think it's going to tell the story of whether a team is a pretender or an actual contender compared to the game that's happening on the Friday night, which is the one that you're getting excited for, Brisbane versus Richmond.
Yeah. I think I'm probably most excited for the fact that we couldn't play any worse against Geelong last time, and they couldn't play any better. Since then, Geelong has had a bit of a ordinary few games. Like they haven't been that good again. Where Port have just been steady, not winning, not smashing teams, but just been steady. So I'm interested. What happened to us won't happen again because now I've had a look at it.
You've had a look at it?
As in Port have had a look at, Dixon getting three teamed. We had a look at Cleary on Tomahawk that doesn't work. So we had a look at it. We now know how to adjust.
I don't know if it doesn't work, but I think he was playing him in the wrong position.
Playing a wrong person.
He played him wrong. He should have been playing him off his back shoulder, and he can't.
Yeah,
exactly. Played him off the wrong. So the positioning side of things comes in. That's more of a coaching and an educational piece with that. But you can't make the same mistake because if you let him have that roam, he's just too big of a unit. He's a sexy beast, isn't he? And those piercing blue eyes. Tell you what, if there was someone who was going to kick 6 goals on me, I'd like it to be him. He's a rig and a half.
All right, next game.
So look, early days.
What are you excited about, Peps? What game has got? What two games have got yours going?
Look, I'm. All right, let me eliminate this one. The West Coast Collingwood game is the biggest anticlimax that's going to occur. If West Coast don't win that by a minimum 5 goals. Collingwood are just making up the numbers. I know they've got a couple back, but they've got a gel. And they haven't really looked much like it over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
They've limped in. There's other teams that have been playing better football, but because they took it straight at the start of the year and made the most of their early wins, that's what you should do. Getting in the finals doesn't, finish in the last round. You do it in the first 5. The first quarter of the season, first half of the season is when you cement your spot.
Yeah.
But they didn't cement their spot. They got in on a bit of luck. And when I say luck, there were teams that should have, my mob, who should have taken their spot and didn't.
Yeah.
Okay? So kudos to them. They're there, we're not. But I just think they're making up the numbers. And if you look at what West Coast have done over the last number of weeks, they have had a couple of injuries. I don't know if the big fella Kennedy's going to be playing. I'm not too sure. I haven't heard anything yet. But West Coast over West Coast with a parochial crowd behind them, that's a minimum of at least 6 free kicks more that they're going to get.
Yeah.
But I'm going to watch it because it's footy.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting too excited about it.
Okay.
Brisbane-Richmond is really getting me excited.
Okay.
And it's a little bit similar to yours because after what let me rephrase that. After what Dusty did to Brisbane last year by kicking a casual 6.
Yeah.
A casual 6. Whether he's going to be able to do that again, I don't know. I think Brisbane are a better team than they were. They've just matured. I was looking at something a couple of years ago, the 2017 AFL record. And there was their prediction about who's going to finish where. And half the people said Brisbane were going to finish last.
Yeah.
2017. 17, 18, 19, 20. 4 years later, they're sitting top 4. Win this, go straight into a prelim. You wouldn't have said that. So that just shows what Fagan, Hodge, Birchall, Neil, Cameron, Jared Lyons going up there. Their youth has come through. Andrews has been fantastic. They've got rid of ones that they didn't need. Mitch Robinson. I'm really excited about that. Is Dion Prestia, what's he going to do? Because he hasn't played for goodness knows how long. Bolter, apparently the new Rance, minus the religion aspect. Are they going to be able to go against Brisbane? Is Hipwood going to be able to get a kick? So much touted. Midfields on both sides are just absolutely awesome. It's just going to be a game that I'm really going to be looking forward to. And I hope it doesn't turn into a defensive snooze fest. Both teams can be super attacking, and I hope they go out playing attacking football.
Yeah. Just hope that Brisbane...
That saying, your game? Oh, goodness gracious. They kicked themselves out of a final last year. Please don't do it again. But I reckon the St Kilda Western Bulldogs is either going to be close or it's going to be smashing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the Saints have earned the right. Mind you, they did stumble in, but they did. But beating DGWS in the last round was amazing. Western Bulldogs are the only team outside the 4 I think can do some damage. They've just got a bit of spunk about them at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting to see how that one's going to go. It's 4:40 at the Gabba. They're the traditional home of these two teams.
I see the thing with Western
I'm
Bulldogs.
just excited by it. I'm just think the Bulldogs can take this one. Tory Dixon's hanging up the boots, so that should fire them up a little bit more.
Western Bulldogs.
It's a great week of footy.
I'll be interested to see, because the Western Bulldogs, as you know, they're known now as, you know, they are an outside handball happy team. So if St Kilda apply some of that pressure and they press high and they do what those things that St Kilda can be known for, be a little bit harder at the ball, I reckon they could stop Western Bulldogs.
Nah, I don't think. Look, hey, here we go. Piss off, Peps. That's fantastic. Appreciate that, Nick. No, it's not that. I just think that if I had to put two teams up and I had to see whose forward line was playing better at the moment, I would go with the Western Bulldogs. But you know what? If King comes out and has an absolute blind, I'll be the first to put my hand up and say he's still the second best King in the family. All right? I'm not gonna turn it down. Congratulations, Dean Kent. You finally got finals. All right, those sort of things. But I just don't know. Will they freeze? Will they freeze?
Yeah.
Stage fright. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm wrapped at you there. I'm absolutely wrapped that St Kilda are there. I've given them a spray all season. But you know what? I'll put my hand up and say, hey, you know what? They're playing for fantastic footy. So I'm really looking forward to that game. So it's just there's just little stories within stories for each particular game here, and it's awesome.
So what are your two? What are your two games looking forward to?
Don't let me lock it into two. All right. I think if it was the two games I'm really excited for, I would say Brisbane Richmond, and I will go St Kilda Western Bulldogs.
Okay.
But I tell you what, your game is like a bee's dick third.
Yeah. Do you think
a bee's dick?
Do you think it's disrespectful for the top place team to be playing on a Thursday and not a Saturday night prime time?
No way, because if you win, you're going to get an extra 3. Well, you're going to get an extra 2 days plus the week off. Yeah. And that's another thing. Can I bring up?
Oh God,
beautiful. Hey, can I just do this? Hey, this one is not on the quick hands list for tonight, but hey, a quick hands. Okay. The pre-finals bye, listeners, viewers, tell us the pre-finals bye, yay or nay?
You want my answer?
I want your answer.
I'm a nay. I've always been a nay.
Yeah, I love doing the show with this bloke.
I've always been a nay.
No.
It doesn't reward the top teams finishing top anymore.
And once again, the AFL overreacted because of one season, the 2017, I think it was, where North and Fremantle pulled all their players out in the last round.
16,
because they didn't. Might have been 16.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to upset the apple cart for the last round of footy.
Yeah.
What a complete farce. So are they saying every season before that was, you know, not the genuine result because they didn't have the best play? I'm sick of hearing this best players playing. It's a battle of attrition. That's what the week off gets you. It gets you that week off. They're saying Geelong are going to be playing their first game in almost 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
This week. That's not good, mate, because they had the bye, they've played, then they've had the week off, and then they're coming into it again.
Well, it wasn't really a bye. No one really had a bye this year.
Well, because they had the week off. They had the week off, and so it's not. You don't need it. That is what getting that just puts so much more emphasis on winning that prelim. It's not just the second chance; it's having that week off that no one else will get.
Yeah, well,
it's been a shorter season. Put it back to how it was. Nobody wants it. The only one who wants it's the AFL, so they can put in this bullshit wildcard weekend.
Well, Peps,
it's crap. Don't get me started, Jamie. Peps. If you start with the athletes again, I'll dead set punch you.
Peps, it's just
I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it.
If they scrap it, it's something that you'll never have to worry about in your lifetime watching football, because your team will never finish top 4.
Yeah, but then if bullshit. At least we don't go straight sets.
Your team.
We won our last 2 finals. How have you? We've won our last.
Peps, you derail.
2 out of our last.
Don't derail the show. Don't derail the show. Don't get personal. Don't get shirty.
Hey, listen, I'm the train driver here, buddy. I'll do a show anytime I damn well feel like it. All right, okay. So let's have a bit of a chat about the news of the week as well, too. Actually, sorry, before we go, your games, the ones that you're excited for.
Mine's definitely the Port Adelaide game against Geelong, and I like the top of the ladder stuff, so I'm going to stick with Richmond and Brisbane.
Fantastic. Alrighty. Well, I think it's the biggest story that we've had all week, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get one straight into this. Is Jamie's. This is Jamie's. He's going to read out, and we're going to get into it. But is it the Crows on the Nose beers? Brad Couch and Tyson Stengel caught with drugs. Go through a
what an ending to an absolute horrendous 3 years now at this club.
Yeah.
So if you weren't across it,
seriously needs a preseason camp, don't they?
Oh my, they would, but probably they'll just complain like Melbourne people did about their preseason camp. Anyway,
hey, do you like that Crows on the Nose beers?
Well,
tell me if you like it. Tell me if you like it, listeners. Tell me if you like it.
That's good. Or do you like crows flying higher? Anyway, so basically the pair were pulled over in a taxi on Monday morning at 5:15 a.m. just in a taxi on Grenfell Street. So anyone who's ever been to Clipsal or my mates out there watching, hello, you've been there in Grenfell Street with me and we've tore it up.
Is that the electrical wholesalers?
No, it's not. Peps. Oh. It's a second indiscretion now for Tyson Stengel this year. He was caught earlier in the year and handed a 4-match suspension for April for driving an unregistered vehicle and also blowing over the limit by, I think it was 0.25. So what's that? 10 times the limit plus? Pretty crazy. So he's been caught again.
Apparently he got his driving, advanced driving at the Lucky Hunter driving school and got a distinction.
And they've got a new graduate just recently, Peps, we just learned.
Who's that?
Jack Watts. So now that's one issue there. So he's had that one indiscretion. Crouch is set to be on the move this year. Brad Crouch is set to be on the move this year and explore his options as a restricted free agent. That could seriously be really harmful to his prospects. Like, once again, Peps, and I don't want to keep talking about it because it's like athletes and footballers for you. I'm just like, footballers are dumb shits. You are looking at moving to another employer and you go and do this shit. Like, don't. But he has been caught and Stengel's been caught. And they're both really sorry, like they always are. They're sorry when they get caught. And it could harm Brad Crouch's contract future with other clubs, and also it's also going to obviously hurt Stengel as well because there could be some match suspensions and fines and stuff coming their way. So
what a complete nuffy.
Yep.
Oh,
dumb.
Dumb and dumber, those two, I'll tell you. How stupid do you have to be?
Yep.
Like, I think you're right. It's just that they live in this bubble of unrealistic, and they think you're just immune. They're bulletproof.
Yeah.
And they go out and do this shit. And the thing is that with the days of social media, with the days of, gutter journalism, all fake news, whatever, clickbait, somebody will find out and somebody will report it. What are you thinking?
Or you'll be targeted by police as well. Like, they'll put her in a taxi, so the cops are probably going, let's put 2 and 2 together because footballers are dumb shits. Let's just do a search.
Is Brad Couch just the dumbest bloke? Instead of just laying low and doing what he has to do, he has to go out with a bloke who's got a record. Do you ever think that they might have gone, hey, these two have left, someone at the pub's called the cops and gone, hey, Crouch and Stengel are in a cab.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't surprise me if they did.
Absolutely.
But Jesus. Dumb
and
shit.
if you were looking at picking up Brad Crouch, and he's, let's just say, for example, he's going to get a 4-week suspension to next year, you've got to pay a bloke for 4 weeks who you've just got in to sit there on the bench and just watch to get anything out of him. Like, it's just dumb.
I don't worry. Melbourne did that with Stephen May last year. So why not? Well, that was a lot more than he's on.
Oh well.
But it's just dumb. And he shot himself in the foot. Would you take the risk now with list sizes being smaller than they will be this year?
Yeah.
Once again, we still don't know exactly what they're going
Correct.
to be. Would you take the risk on him? I know, good player, but is he worth the risk? Knowing that you're going to be paying him good coin, probably giving up a fair bit for him, even though he might be a restricted free agent, you're still going to have to fork up a bit of cash.
Yeah.
Knowing, and by the way, they didn't charge him. So put this in perspective, listeners who are not located in Melbourne. If you are in Melbourne and you've got COVID and you have a house party and you're tested positive, you will not get in trouble. I don't care about that. You could catch a cab with illicit drugs by the police and nothing's going to happen to you. Just going to get some counselling.
Yeah.
Walk down the street with your kids without a mask on, $1,600 fine. How messed up is this country if doing something illegal is legal with a technicality and just doing something you do normally every day of the week, not harming anybody, is going to cost you 1.5 Gs. It is a disgrace.
Yep. And a quick one there.
It's a disgrace.
John Michaels had a question. Which couch in their prime? Brad, every day. Every day.
No, I'd go recliner. Or futon. Their Asian cousin futon. He is a superstar.
Take Brad. Matt's
lays across the back line. Amazing futon. Love what he does.
Matt's a seagull. So take Brad.
All right. Alrighty. Okay.
Next one.
Adelaide, they're in some trouble. Let's get into the next one.
I'll let you go this one here because this is your favourite subject other than your own club.
No, it's not. We got pick apart. Opens on Napier Street. Essendon's list is getting stripped by rivals. Okay, so clubs are sniffing around, and it's not Stengel or Couch. Couch?
Crouch.
Yeah, Couch.
Crouch.
All right. You wrote Couch. Get your notes right. Okay. Sard, Danaher, Orazio Fantasia, all look bound for South Australia, although key availability has Victorian clubs considering their worth. Connor McKenna is gone. Zach Merritt, he's going to stay. Why? Young teammates Braden Ham has not re-signed, is also attracting interest from other clubs looking for run and skills. He was the club's third most improved player this year after best and first Ridley and Zerk Thatcher. Cale Hooker and Michael Hurley are unsettled and frustrated by the treatment of good friend Bell Chambers. I'm tipping Bell Chambers is not exactly complaining going home to Olympia and just putting his head in her chest and just crying tears of joy. Have not been asked to leave yet. Rival clubs think the right deal would tempt Essendon on either, while the Bombers remain publicly committed to them. Full support of the board, I reckon. Hooker is contracted for another 12 months, and Hurley has 2 more seasons to run a lucrative deal penned in 2016. Though neither Andrew McGrath or Jordan Ridley has any chance to leave, both are haggling over specific clauses before signing on.
Unhappy.
And Adrian Dodoro.
Oh, come on.
I cannot believe this guy still has a job.
We've literally every third podcast we always speak about him. We're going to leave that today. That's a conversation for trade time, Pep. So not now.
Oh, mate, we were leading into trade time. Like I said, it's the final series for teams outside of the 8 trade time. That's when clubs do their best work. Jeez, they are shocking at the moment. I'm not. You know what? I feel so sorry for Essendon. I'm not even going to bring up how many days it's been since their last finals win because it's pointless. It's just pointless because based on what's going on right here, I'll run out of characters on the screen shortly.
Yeah.
Because nothing is going to happen. You can't lose all that.
Yeah.
And apparently, they're saying that they're going after Bashahuli. Bashahuli. Let's put yourself in his shoes. Playing at a club that's potentially going for its 3rd flag in 4 years, going back to a club that can't even win a final in 15, 16, and is losing players left, right, and centre. As Aerosmith said best, dream on, my friend, dream on.
But
they're shocking.
But as a club like Essendon, are you happy as being a supporter of Essendon, offering to give a guy a contract to offer more job security? Is that what you've become as a list, to offer players who are aging job security? I don't know. It seems like an interesting call if you wanted to give the guy another 2 or 3 years on good money when he might only have a year or two left in his body to play.
What are you talking about?
Basher Hooley. So Richmond aren't going to give him more than sort of about a 2-year deal.
If I was going for money and safety, I'd be going straight to the Gold Coast.
I don't think they're on the table for a chat about Basher Hooley.
But if you want to have a retirement fund, you go to Brisbane. Gold Coast. Why would you go to Essendon?
Well, it's an offer.
Out of those two teams, but it doesn't matter. If you've got 3 years left, don't you want some success in those last 3 years?
Got 2 premierships. I mean, what else do you want?
Probably 3, by the way that they're going this year.
Yeah.
Okay, but the point we're trying to make is that if you've got next year 3 years to go, you've got 3 flags. What, are you just going to ride your horse into the sunset and wave and play at Essendon, or do you want to go, hey, you know what? I might try and get something out of a club who could probably use a bit of experience and a bit of guidance and a bit of structure. Gold Coast are perfect. They would be open arms. That's the type of player that club needs.
You could say the same thing about Essendon. If they're losing Sard to
why are they losing them?
Because they're unhappy.
Okay, why are they losing them, and why can't they get anybody?
Because 1, they're unhappy. 2, the club is in a state of flux because they've got a coach who is unproven, and that is still like, what the hell's going on? They've got a new CEO or chairman or whatever the official term is, that old dude. Like, the club just isn't settled. So if you were looking as a player, we know this from working in corporations, when it's aren't settled, it's not a happy time to be there. Players are the same.
Yeah, it is the same. And
why? So that's why I'm saying
you would not go there at all. No chance you'd go there.
But you could look at it in the same way as going. You could flip that around and say, Hooley's going there because there's so many players who are unhappy, and maybe he can start to rebuild from the back line and start to build the club culture again.
No way. No. I'm sorry. I just think that you got out of there for a reason. You don't go back. You don't go back to the well.
Well, it's just Peps. This is why we have a podcast. We can talk about it.
Shit, mate. You don't sleep where you shit. Okay, and he got out of there because he didn't want to be part of it. He went to Richmond, had some fantastic success. Why would you go back there? They're not going to play. They're not going to play finals. If they lose all those players, they are not going to be playing finals for at least another 5 years. Yeah.
I'm going to just answer a question here. Can you pop it up on the screen? It's from Joel Michael about Sard.
Yep.
Thank you. Sard, to D's, Blues, Tigers boys. If he goes to the Tigers, I want a formal investigation into how that's possible. I'm thinking he's going to go to the D's.
I would love him at Melbourne. He's exactly what we need to replace Hibberd.
Correct.
Then we can push Salem up a bit further into the guts. Have Rivers on one side, Sard on the other. I'd even play him on a wing, maybe.
Yeah, bit of speed. Okay.
He's got a bit of speed. Have him on one side, Langdon on the other. I've just got this feeling that the Blues are throwing around a bit of cash this year. Cruiser going, Simpson going is going to open up a bit of the cash cow for them. They've got Chris Vizzy Judd on the board, so they'll probably find a way. I don't understand how they're going to pay around about $850 plus for a backman, which is Zach Williams, which apparently going to push him into the midfield and get Sard. I don't know what they got to deal. I don't know what they got to trade.
Yeah,
so it's going to be an interesting one there. I think Melbourne. I don't until I see it signed, sealed, and delivered. And I actually hear it occurring. It'll never happen. So look, I'd love him. I'd love Sards at the D's. I think that they've probably got another couple of issues that I'd like to fill before that.
Yeah.
If he said I want to play at the D's, and I'll put my hand up and say, certainly, my friend, you can have whatever number. You can have the 44 or whatever number you wear and throw it on your back. I would definitely have him. But Danaher, he wants to go. Mm-hmm. They could have got something for him last year. They might not get anything for him this year.
Well,
Danaher traded him out 12 months ago.
Well, that's the big. I don't know where this is at the moment with Danaher because it was all he was going last year. Done. Deal. Sign off to Doro. Dragged his feet and basically dragged 3 clubs down with him. This year, Essendon are going to apparently put a big contract in front of Danaher. So I don't know where that's at.
So put yourself in his shoes, right? And I'll tell you which club he should go to. And if I say this, you're going to say you're an idiot, Peps. I reckon if there's a club he should go to, it's Melbourne. And here's the here's the only reason why. Even though he had a bender and ended up in hospital after his season had finished, Harley Bennell could not get on the ground at all. Could not even run. And he came over to Melbourne, and they were able to work out exactly what was wrong, and they got him fixed up, and they were able to get him on the park.
Yep.
All right. Fremantle couldn't do that. Gold Coast couldn't do that. All right. So if I was Danaher, I'd be looking at, so if this guy wasn't supposed to ever play again, and they've been able to do it, Essendon have had every opportunity under the sun to try and fix this. They've got nowhere near it.
Yeah.
I might consider going over there, and they need another forward.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll package up the McDonald brothers and Alex Neil-Bullen for Danaher and their first-round draft pick. I'm joking about the first-round draft pick. But the point I'm trying to make is that if you're looking for a club that has a great medical background and needs an example of a club who's been able to get... Because he hasn't been on the park for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Why would you stay at a club who can't get you right? It's blows the mind.
This like your theory is solid to an extent, but Harley Bennell only played 5 games this year.
Yeah,
in an ordinary Melbourne team. Well, that's not.
I wouldn't say they were ordinary.
I'd say
they were really good at times and very poor in the middle.
Perhaps I can't recall a game where you didn't have a goalless quarter in any game.
Yeah, well, you got to keep the games interesting, mate. Or for anybody else who watches us, a goal given away in the last minute of a quarter.
Oh, that's the worst. Anyway,
we did that twice. Against Essendon in the last round. It's guaranteed either a scoreless first quarter, a goalless first quarter, or a goalless quarter full stop, or a goal given in the last. If they could have multis on that, I'd be living in Toorak.
So yeah, I don't think. Look, don't you need a big forward? I just don't think Danaher is the forward that you guys need. I don't know I don't know who in the forwards you need, but it's not Danaher.
Nah, I know who it is. It's the big fella, Krusty the Clown. Get him over.
Wow.
Wow. You go. You talk about Krusty.
I want to give you I want to put a quick hands in for you.
Oh, what? Is the Brown down? Brown is down.
I'm going to give you a quick hands.
All right.
Have you ever, in your professional life, even personal life, ever given worse advice than what Ben Brown's manager's given to Ben Brown?
Personally, I've given some bad advice over the years to both my kids. Hey, kids, back from Melbourne, you'll see success. My dad said the same thing to me 40-odd years ago. Still waiting, Dad. But that's a shocker. But who's to know?
What do you mean, who's to know?
Who's to know? What I can't understand with this one is if this guy has kicked 60 goals in 3 years consecutively, and then he's had a bad year. I think for the anomalies he's had, and for everything that's been going on this year, personally and with all the COVID, right, you might have some liberty into that, shorter quarters, all that sort of stuff. But you don't get rid of a guy who's kicked that many. He cannot be. North are not that good. They weren't exactly giving him silver service throughout the season either. And you can see by the amount of people that they've been getting rid of over the last X amount of weeks.
Yeah.
I just think it's just a stupid, dumb, overreactive move.
But it's his manager who was looking for too much.
But at that particular stage, he had the resume to back it up. We laughed at the dusty touring GWS facility, then going back to Richmond for 30 or 40 a season. We laughed at that, Peps. This has potentially cost this guy over $1 million and a job. Yeah, that's
a job.
Yeah. That's the risky role. That's the risky runs. If he had another 60-goal season, he would have got a lot more.
Yeah.
And that's what a manager should do. But a manager should go, you know what, wholeheartedly, this is what you're going to get. This is what your value's worth. Take it.
Yeah. Yeah. Or put clauses. They all have front end the contract. whatever you want to do. There's ways you can get around this. As a manager, I think that is a complete cock up.
Yeah, well, he's done well, this fella. $750K. No, hold out. Now leave for $550. Good call, Jamie. Putrid management. Yeah, it's Adam Ramanaskas too. Is his manager?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not the smartest deal. Not the smartest deal. And and there's only one player who's kicked more goals than him in the last 3 seasons, I think, and that's the Tomahawk.
Mm.
So what does that say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd take him. He would just straighten us up big time. He'd be perfect for us. I'd have him. If I'd
Speaking of Ramanaskas,
I'd love it. Yep.
Speaking of Ramanaskas, ramekins in the kitchen, are they a small bowl or a micro casserole dish? Just a question. I don't know.
Is that quick hands again? It's a small bowl, but just don't put them in the microwave.
I've always wondered, what are they? Like, where do they fit in the world of plates and bowls? What's a ramekin? Is it?
Look, I just hope that Peter Rabbit's getting his fair share of royalties for the use of his image.
That's true.
I still use ramekin bowls.
I don't use them. I don't understand them.
They're fantastic. They are the perfect size for popcorn, perfect for nuts. Yeah, they're really good. The kids love them. Okay. I use them too. Don't be afraid to embrace your inner ramekin.
All right, next one. Next one.
Oh, yeah. Freak out.
Now, this is just a chat that I'll talk about our chat in a second that we had offline. Grand Final Day presenters have been announced, Pep. So Brisbane's triple premierships.
Let's go back to the finals. But I haven't got the fry pan. But yeah, let's get into yours. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. So the grand final presenters have been announced by Gill just the last 2 days. Brisbane's triple premiership star Simon Black will be presenting the premiership cup to the winning captain after being named as the cup ambassador. Byron Pickett is going to be handing over the Norm Smith to the grand final's best player, an award that he won in 2004 Port Adelaide's triumph. And the AFL legend Malcolm Blight will be presenting the Jock McHale medal to the winning coach.
I would prefer if Byron Pickett delivered it with a shirt front.
Just like off the stage, the person flying off the stage.
Luke McCabe style. Okay. And the person, and they fly off the stage like Frank Lowy.
Yep.
And
or this one, Peps.
Yeah.
The player goes to grab the hat off the ground, and then Pickett comes.
Bang! Yeah, one of the kids drops him, and then goes and puts it over his eyes. Yep, I like the way you're thinking there, son. And maybe Blighty could maybe get the coach to roll around in the mud before he puts on the medal. Maybe he could, from the fourth tier, imagine fourth tier at the Gabba, or third tier at the Gabba, barrel into his hands.
Yep.
It would have gone 85, 90 metres.
I like
it.
Whilst I'm here, I want to just quickly address something that you were chatting to me offline about. And you were saying that you don't think that Up There Kazali has a day, has a thing in the fixture of AFL football anymore on Grand Final Day.
No way.
Do you want to just talk on that?
No way.
Do you want to just expand on that for our listeners?
No.
Peps?
It is the single greatest sporting song.
It's not what you were saying 5 minutes before we're going online.
I think you got your wires crossed, mate. I love that song.
Be brave and admit it.
I love it.
Don't come on here. The listeners are seeing right through you.
Do you know the number of cashies that Mike Brady gets for doing Up There Kazali this time of year?
Peps,
there's only so many dodo, internet that flies ads he can do.
The listeners are seeing right through it, Peps. Admit it. You said that the song is overrated and probably needs to be retired from the big day. Be afraid to admit it, Peps.
You've said that. Don't. I'll never admit it. And if anyone wants to challenge me down on that one on the chat or on the comments page, Up There Kazali is the best song. And if you partner that up with the B-side, One Day in September, will you put a lot in just to work real hard? There are days when you try.
You're not being genuine to our listeners, and it's disappointing me.
Oh, that's your fault, mate, because it is the single greatest sporting song ever. All right.
How do you feel about that being played to an empty MCG stadium?
That's just stupid. It'd be like Melbourne home and away games, so it wouldn't make much of a difference.
Fair enough.
Nah, it's stupid. That's a dumb idea. Absolutely stupid idea. But it's the AFL. They apparently want 18-minute quarters next year and more games.
Yep. Well, I'll say that for later. All right.
All right.
Do you want to talk about this one here?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I'm just gonna go and turn my camera off whilst you just lose your shit for the next 20 minutes.
I'm not going to lose my shit about this one. All right. It's as simple as this, ladies and gentlemen. See this thing? This is the All-Australian team for this year.
No, I can't see it.
All right, there it is. Okay, so this is the All-Australian team.
Still can't. There we go.
For 2020. I tell you what, there are some people, I don't know how some people get a gig. I don't know how the selectors. So here are the selectors, right? Have a listen to some of these nuffy names, all right? Did you put the names in?
No.
Did you put the names in?
No.
You had one job, all right? Anyway, Cameron Lynn's one of them, all right? Gillon McLaughlin is another one. And I'll find Kevin Bartlett, I think, is in there as well too.
I'll put him in for you.
All right,
I'll put him in. I'll fix you. I'll fix you up.
There are some names in here. I've got no idea how they've been selected. So I mentioned a number of these last week, and I'm going to bring it up right now.
Refresh your page.
First and foremost, right? The first one. How did Harris Andrews get picked over Stephen May? Stephen May had 10. I'll say it again. 10 goals kicked on him for the entire season. And how many games did Harris Andrews miss with a hammy? The last 3?
4.
And May played, I think, every single game. This is just a stupid decision. Stupid. It's because he's a redhead. They had to give him some love. All right. Whoever decided that Dustin Martin is a forward pocket over Papley or Butler, mind you, the two of them didn't really do anything in the last 4 to 5 weeks of footy. Liam Ryan, I wholeheartedly agree with. Perfect choice. Patrick Dangerfield over Marcus Bontempelli as half-forward flankers. Doesn't right with me. Cam Guthrie and Jack McRae not getting a gig over somebody like Sam Menegola, who is a true wingman, or Hugh McCluggage is a true wingman, is a disgrace as well. Like, are you going to put a team together, or are you just going to put, let's just say, a 6-back line, 6 forwards, and then just have 12 midfielders running through?
Yep, and just plug players in.
Yeah, just plug players in. This is an All-Australian team that you would run out. Oh, well, if you're looking at that, they're a little bit top-heavy. There's not much speed on the outside. Look, the ruckman, Nick Nat, once again, it's the dreadlocks that get it. Apparently he's had a stellar season. His stats don't back it up, though.
Todd Goldstein was robbed.
Oh, definitely robbed. He should have got it instead of Nick Nat. Max Gawn deserved to be there. But mind you, he missed a number of weeks as well, too, with an injury. So I can't use the same excuse for Harris Andrews. But here's a couple of things that I will stand out, which I really do like, okay? I was rapt to see Caleb Daniel get in there. Probably the best kick in the league. I was so happy for him to be there, all right? I was so rapt that they gave Christian Petrarca his first All-Australian. Had a stellar season. Probably Brownlow year if it wasn't for the guy right next to him in Lockie Neal, who was going to dominate the Brownlow this year. Jack McRae, Travis Boak, all right? I actually think he should have been captain of it. I think Patrick Dangerfield, geez, they just give it. You start to think that the All-Australian team is a little bit like the Hall of Fame. If you're a nice guy, you'll get in. Starting to go down that way, I think. Okay. Darcy Moore. Come on. Are you telling me he's the best? Who would you take, Wiedering or Darcy Moore?
Wiedering every day.
Every day of the week, yeah, but because he's Darcy, and he's from Collingwood, he had to get a Guernsey, all right? I just think, once again, they haven't made. I was rapt to see Jack Steele get in there, rapt to see Gorney get in there, rapt for Ryan. That's about it. Brad Shepherd, he did the hammy, unfortunately, a couple of years ago, didn't play. But a couple of new names. Luke Ryan's in there. Tell me about Darcy Byrne-Jones. Should he have got a Guernsey?
Look, if he was in Melbourne, there'd be a whole lot of hoo-ha about him off the half-back line and the way he plays. Rarely beaten. I can't think of a game where he's actually been beaten by his direct opponent. So does he deserve to be there on the half-back? Well, it's his natural position. So as a genuine player in that position,
Yep.
That's a tick and tick from your criteria, Peps.
Okay, well, have a look at this, right? Have a look at this selection committee. And I want you to go Tuffy or a Nuffy, all right?
Okay.
Gillum McLaughlin.
Tuffy.
Kevin
Tough
Bartlett.
year to be managing.
Year. Yeah. Gillum McLaughlin. Kevin Bartlett.
Tuffy.
Luke Darcy.
Pretty boy
Nuffy,
now.
Nuffy. Steve Hocking.
Tough.
He's a Nuffy. He's stuffing around with the game more than anything. Glenn Jakovic.
Tuffy.
He's a toughie because if he listens to this podcast, I don't want to be calling him a Nuffy. Chris Johnson.
Tough.
Jacana boy, EDFL. Best league in Victoria. Cameron Ling.
Yep.
I can't stand his special comments.
Okay.
Matthew Richardson.
Yep.
Gun. Just don't like his Richo-isms. And Warren Treadray.
Yep.
Oh, you'd get a box of tissues for you.
Boner.
But it's
eggplants everywhere.
Like, seriously. No.
Okay. No, I thought you'd be angrier than that, Peps.
No, I'm not angry, mate. I was angry last week when they released the squad, and some people got in and some people didn't. I think that was the biggest thing. Okay.
All right. Do you want to go into our quick hands?
Yeah, let's get into. By the way, the Donk has come up with a ripper here. The job of a ruckman is to feed their on-ballers. So how did Goldstein's midfield go this year? Mate, he did more around the ground. He did everything he possibly could. Exactly right. He fed the on-ballers, but if they didn't want to eat, like that's all he could do, Roscoe. Like I know where you're coming from, mate. And here we go, devil's advocate. Max did play 6th in the D's Bluey Truscott medal. Should he be there? Well, the things with Melbourne's BNF is that they vote on every single game. A player gets votes for every single game. I think it's ranked out of 10 for each one. Or it's ranked, or they give him a ranking. So if you miss 4 games, of course you're going to be 6th. But if he took his average, he'd be up there.
Peps,
what I don't get the book of work.
What I don't get, Peps,
I agree what he's saying, but I just don't.
Is if I was Maxi,
yep,
I would probably be asking for triple dipping in your Bluey count because he's your best forward, he's your best centreman, and he's also your best defender. How many times has he taken a mark in your forward 50? How many times has he been the big mark in your back 50? And then obviously being a centreman, he should be tripling every game. Peps, he's your best player.
So this is where you've got no idea. He only took, I think it's something like 4 marks inside 50 for the entire year.
Well, it must have been the game that I watched, all of them. No, he's taken more than that. You might have been.
We were kicking the other way, mate. They played him behind the ball. It was stupid. They should push him forward more. All right, let's get into the quick hands, J-Dog. Let's go through it. All right. Let's get into it. All right. First and foremost, it is question number 1. Heath Shaw has been axed. Does that mean that the GWS rebuild is finally here? Your thoughts, go.
I think it's an interesting move because I don't see who is going to take his place as that lockdown defender back there.
Yep.
I think it is probably a sign that they are looking at drafting someone in to replace him, even though he's probably still got another 2 years ahead of him because he still hasn't lost any zip or he hasn't lost anything. So I think it's a sign that they're pushing out the old and starting to bring in some new.
If a club approached him to say, listen, you're not going to play 22 games in a season, you're not going to play more than half of that, but we need you as a development coach for the people coming through, I would take that. And I'd put my hand up straight away for him. The amount of he's played 320 something games, this bloke.
Yeah.
Like he's played a lot of footy. He knows what to do, and I respect him a hell of a lot. I think he's been fantastic for both Collingwood and Premiership player. He's played in grand finals.
Yep.
He's rarely ever beaten, and he tells you how it is. And you know what I love? He plays with his socks up, and that's the mark of a true footballer. Okay. All right, another one for you. Mark of the year, Cameron Walsh or Bobby Hill? Go.
For me, it's got to be Sam Walsh for the courageous of it.
Oh, yes, that is a cracking mark. The one where he's going with the fly to the ball.
Yep.
Beat any high fly, because anyone can jump on someone's back, but running in when you're not going, only the special ones can do that. And I can tell you, as one of those special ones, that's why my nose is so flat, always hitting the packs hard.
Peps, where
Take
can
that
our,
any day of the week. That's why Jonathan Brown and Nick Rewalt's marks are the two best marks ever.
Where can people view that those three nominations?
AFL.com.au, the number 2 website in AFL football. Number 1 being the Lace Our Facebook page. All right, I like that too. Right,
I'm gonna ask you this one, Peps.
Okay.
Where is Braden Pruce going to live in 2021?
The Pruce Goose. Where will he fly in 2021? Okay, I'm so happy for this bloke. He came to the D's, got the tutelage under the single best ruckman in the league for a couple of years. He was stuck behind him. He was stuck behind Luke Jackson, even Tom McDonald to a degree. You know what? I'm sad to see him leave because I love ruckman, even though they're dumb. They have a go. All right, and that's why I take ruckman over on-ballers any day, because ruckman always give you a crack.
Mm-hmm.
On-ballers are all pretty boy. All right? If he goes to a club like GWS, I'll do this, Pruce for Himmelberg. Straight swap. Because they've got to get rid of one of those ones. They're trying to keep Cameron. All right? They're trying to keep Whitfield as well, too. There's a lot of cash that they've got to spend up there at the GWS.
Yeah.
I'd go to them and say, listen, we'll give you... if they need a ruckman, we'll give you Pruce and you give us Himmelberg and we'll work something out later on. All right, but good on him. He's got currency, okay? Buy low, sell high, and that's what we're doing with the great man. All right, but yeah, he's going to get exactly what we need.
Okay.
Beautiful. All right. Or we might give that to North. We might give him to North as a replacement for Goldstein. Go back to the club he wants, and we'll get Brown. There you go. It all swings and roundabouts, my friend. It all pays off in the end. Alrighty. What else have we got? I think that's it.
No, I've got two more. Which team comes under more pressure this final series?
Ooh. Geelong.
Okay.
It's Geelong.
Yep.
They haven't got a great finals record as of late. And I think it's definitely going to be Geelong. Your mob are in there second.
Yep.
Tigers? I think it's... Who?
Are the Tigers?
No, they're not under any pressure.
Okay.
Because they've delivered. They are, unlike Australia Post, they have delivered.
Yep.
Okay. They got beaten by Mason Cox one game. That's it.
Yep.
All right. So I think they're in a massive shot. Port Adelaide... Geez, I think you put your pressure on yourself. You should have coughed up a couple of games. Finished second, like I said. Jack Watts, he's leaving your club. Fantastic, Jack Watts. Round of applause for you, mate. Over 170 games of AFL football, mate. Love the bloke. He was just fantastic. That vision of him beating Collingwood as he streamed down the wing to slot it on Queen's birthday, raising the hands, and the video of him over in Oktoberfest are two of the greatest things I've ever seen from Jack Watts. And I'm going to miss him because he was one of the Melbourne should get him as a kicking coach, a goal kicking coach. He rarely missed.
Yeah, it's a good kick for goal.
He was a sensation, and it's a shame to see the way his career went. You know, if he was a number 8 draft pick and he said he played 174 games, kicked that amount of goals, hey, not too shabby, but got thrown to the wolves. But that's what Melbourne do.
All right, another question for you, final one.
Yep.
If you were running the AFL,
yep,
and could only choose one at the detriment or acceptance of the other, here are your two choices.
Yep.
Bring back 20-minute quarters.
Yep.
With regular 22 season game or game season,
yep,
which means less money for the AFL, less money for your employees, less money for the game. The game doesn't grow. All the grassroots is probably dead, if not dying, because there's no money in the AFL to spread that money down. Or do you opt for the 16-minute quarters but chuck in more games per season, increasing the revenue for the AFL and all the other parts that feed off the AFL? What decision would you make?
Can I throw one more in there?
Sure.
17 rounds.
I was going to put it in there.
At 20 minutes. 17 rounds at 20 minutes. Lock that one in for me.
So you want less games, so less airtime, less opportunity to sell games, and less money.
Yep. But you think about it. This is where it's stupid. The Big Bash did this. The Big Bash used to play every team once, and I think you'd have a local derby twice. Yep. Okay? Yep. How awesome was it? Because every game meant something. Look at this season. Every game meant something. If you throw it out to even more than 22 games, and which now we start to get into that compromised fixture again and all that bullshit, and the bigger clubs are only going to get bigger and the smaller ones are going to whittle away because they have to keep their blockbusters. If you go 17 games and you have only got 8 games that you can go to as home games, or 9, depending on who it is, the crowds that you will get for those games will be massive. And you'll have more because you've only got a limit that you can actually go to. I personally would prefer you play 9 home games one year, 8 home games the rest. I'll alternate it off. And you just play the opposite the year. So if you play Geelong at home one year, you've got to play Geelong at home the next, or Geelong away the next. It's just, you keep it simple, and because it's so limited, people will be going in droves to games. That's what I personally think.
Winter,
yeah.
Winter, Melbourne, Sunday afternoon. Yeah. Football these days is still a huge TV audience.
But I want to go to a game. Would you rather go to a game or watch it on TV? Oh, you're Port Adelaide. You usually watch TV.
I drive to my games.
You usually watch your games in a room with guards watching over you.
All I'm saying, Pep,
I would take. What do you reckon, listeners? What do you reckon? Let us know on the chat. What would you prefer?
As the commissioner,
definitely not the 16th.
As Christopher Pepper, the commissioner of the AFL, the CEO of the AFL, you've decided to shorten the season, which means less money in the AFL system and all the grassroots parts that feed off it.
It's the complete opposite. TV viewing will be up because every game will mean something.
But there's less to sell.
No, there's not. You're looking at it the wrong way. So can I ask a question, right? Do you think Ferrari, they sell less cars, but they're worth so much more because they're awesome, prestige, finely tuned? Or would you rather be a Toyota that sends out Yaris's every week and has tens and thousands of them being sold? What do you think has more prestige, the Yaris or the Ferrari?
But you're not talking about the Ferrari people doing it. You're talking about Ferrari wanting ads and their ads in front of TVs, in front of people watching, the millions watching every week. They want to have more opportunities for that ad to be out there.
No. You're still getting the same amount of games, but you're getting more people watching those games.
So then you want longer ad breaks.
No.
So
freaking ad break.
This is how you make money. You've got to sell your ads. This is what we don't make money off our podcast.
This is the thing. No way. Yeah, we sell it. Yeah, you want to sponsor us? Patreon coming in 2021. I'm simply saying this, mate. I'm simply saying that I would go 17 rounds. You won't have a compromised fixture. No wild card weekend. None of that bullshit. Mm-hmm. And you just go with the final 8. No pre-bye week because that loses the momentum of the season.
Yep.
And you go straight into it.
Yep.
And I'm telling you now, you will get better quality games, you will get bigger ratings, and you'll get more people going. So more money is going into the clubs on game day, and more money is going into. They can charge more for their ads because more eyes are on them.
Yep.
So you could sell a package of ads for $50,000 instead of two $20,000 lots.
Yep.
Because there's more eyes on them.
Well,
that's what I would do.
I'd be interested to see what happens because the NFL has just kicked off again, as we know, and they've traditionally got the 16 game seasons. Yep. They're also battling with it. I'd be interested to see what they decide in the following seasons because they need to recoup that money somehow. So
have a look at this, my friend. I like it, Peps. Every game counts with a 17-game. Joel, that's why we like you every single week. You're part of the Lace-Out family, my friend. Every single week he brings the goods.
That's good, Peps, and I'm glad this conversation we can have a chat about it because this is the decisions that is being made at AFL level
Well,
about
they've got
money coming in.
And you know what? I'm also thinking of the supporter as well, which is what the AFL don't do. They could not care less about the supporters.
What was the thing again this year? Something like 10 billion or 50 million or something this year they've lost the AFL. Well, something crazy. Yeah. So they're looking at trying to recoup some money. That you've got to understand where they're coming from as a business.
We've got to go quality over quantity.
I agree, Peps. I agree. I'm not against you. I'm just asking you as the CEO of the AFL, Christopher Pepper, what decision would you be at?
No, you're a bit of a do legend growing up. You've told me the stories over the over a chai latte at work. What would you prefer? 10 supermodels or 30 run of the mills?
Well, I don't know. They're all 10
supermodels. Good. Tell me what you want, people. 10 supermodels or 20 run of the mills, and girls, same thing. Do you want 10 Brad Pitts or 30 Jamie Wallaces? You tell us what you feel like. All right? But they don't say, you want the quality or you want the quantity? What do you want? Okay.
So that's good. That was a good question, Peps, to get a bit of excitement from you.
Oh, I get excited talking to you, mate. Alrighty. So, that's it for this week. So, quickly running through the games this week. Port Adelaide and Geelong. You're taking Port?
I'm taking Port.
I'm taking Port because I can't wait to see a smile on your face next week. Game after that, we're talking about Richmond and Brisbane.
Brisbane.
I'd like to see Brisbane win that one.
Just because they've got it all there for them. They haven't moved. They haven't travelled.
Exactly right. Game after that, St Kilda Doggies.
Oh, God, I'm so torn. Saints, because I want them to have a bit of success because Doggies had it in 2016. And
I'll tell you what, if St Kilda lose, I want St Kilda supporters to get online and I want to see St Kilda supporters rant because apparently they've been loving mine this year. I want to see one of yours. I reckon this will be a close one, and I reckon someone's going to do something special this game. I'm going with St Kilda. Oh, I'm going to have Doggies. Oh, no bets on that one. And the last one, West Coast and Magpies.
West Coast, easily.
West Coast, easily. $5. Hey, listeners, that's it for this edition of Lace Out. Like I said, without you, we are not here. So once again, thank you very much. And you know what? For everybody who's listed and written a review on our podcast on iTunes, thank you very much because it makes a massive difference to know that we're making a difference to you. So if you haven't had a chance to do so, look, take 5 minutes out of your busy day. Okay. You're still going to be able to have lunch. You're still going to be able to make that coffee. All right. You're still going to be able to play what game on the PlayStation or whatever. Just spend 5 minutes and just write something nice about us because the more people that get to know about us, you know what? The more people get to experience the greatness that is Lace and Out. So on behalf of me, Peps and J-Dog, have a wonderful week. Jamie, it's finals week, but I've got to ask you, how do you like your finals footy, mate?
I like it. Lace out.
Fantastic. Have a cracking week. We'll be back this time next week to discuss the first week of the finals. Get on board, be part of the chat, have a cracking week, and go the Power!
Go Power. See you, listeners.
See you, listeners.